So we started early the interesting topic called ISIS routing protocol, intermediate system to intermediate. So before we move further deep into the theory session of ISIS, I wish to do a small lab, which will give you a pretty good knowledge on how ISIS works. So if you see here, we got like 5 routers and they are in different area. And IP addresses that I want to use is already written here. For example, on router 3, this interface, I'll say 10.34.0.3. This will be 0.4. And here it will be 10.45.0.4, 0.5. I always go with the router name, the host ID, and the router name will match. Okay, so that's a good practice so that when you learn, you will know from which IP address the traffic is coming. If it is .5, then it is coming from router 5. If it is .2, it is coming from router 2. And now, when you enable ISIS, it seems like OSPF, but there is a big difference in ISIS router ID. As I said earlier in the previous class, the router ID is not 32-bit here. The router ID is 1 byte plus 6 byte plus 13 bytes. This one they have not mentioned here. They said variable length address, but it can extend up to 13 bytes. So if you see this example, this is that 1 byte, and this 6 byte is this. This is 6 byte. Because it is hexa, each bit is 4 bit. Each one hexa bit is equal to 4 binary bits. So here I have how many? 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, 16 bit. 16 bit. This is saying what? 6 bytes. 6 bytes. That is 2 bytes is over. This is another 2 bytes. This is another 2 bytes. So totally how many bytes? 6 bytes. So this is that 6 bytes. 6 bytes of system ID. This ID should be unique for every router. This portion that you fill here should be unique. Cannot be same for all the routers. It should be unique for each router. And this is the area ID. Area 1. And then this is a number 49 reserved to say this routing protocol is working within the organization. So that 49 that 49 means it's a private network. Simple. That's the meaning. Again, we are not going to use ISIS across the globe. ISIS is used inside the service provider's network and also inside the enterprises. So it is not like BGP. So most of the time you will see people use only 49. You will not see any other number. Even if you forget to give this number, if you start from here, this 0, it is okay. All right, but people have made it as a custom, typing 49 always. They type 49. It is okay. Anyhow, this is going to be within the organization, whether it is service provider or enterprises. Service provider is also an organization. For them, they are an organization. Etisalat is an organization. French X is an organization. Telecom Italia is an organization. Yeah. So within the organization there, and it is not like BGP between the borders. Now, this is expandable. That's what here it says, variable length address. The area ID can be big number, but no one uses big number. This made it as area 1, area 2, or area 10, area 100 like that. So this is what considered as a router ID in ISIS. But it is called as net ID. We don't call it as router ID here. The terminology used is net ID. Net ID. Instead of router ID, in OSPF we call it as router ID. In here it is called as net ID. Net ID is area address of 13 bytes, 6 bytes of system ID, 1 byte of end selector. End selector will be always 00. Always. This will be 00. I told you in the previous class, ISIS is an modified ISIS. Earlier, it was designed for a protocol called CLNS. But now we are using a modified IP version of ISIS, isn't it? So for IP version, it is 00. That is the meaning of the 00. It means it's an IP version. Okay. Now we are going to do configuration on each router. I have already configured the basic IP addresses on these routers.
Yeah, I saw you when you were doing it.
And I'm going to use these routers as an area 100 router. This is area 200 router, and this is area 300 router. So we have IP address only configured. Now I'm going to configure ISIS routing protocol from router 1. If you see router 1, the routing protocol, show IP protocol, there is no routing protocol so far configured. And also I would like to show you show IP route. There is no routes from other router. Only the local networks are shown here. After I finish the ISIS configuration, we'll come back and verify. So here we go. How to configure ISIS. A router ISIS. You may optionally give a process ID. It can be a number or a alphabet. Or it can be simply without any number or a alphabet.
Okay.
You don't need to even type any number or a alphabet. If you want to give, you can give. In case if you want to run more than one instance of ISIS, you can give some number or a name. Now, very important is the net ID. I say net ID will start with 49 dot, not colon, it's dot. IPv6 will have colon. No, 49 dot area ID. I want our area to be area 100. So I'll say 0100. Actually, this is a numerical 100, whereas this one is hexa. It is okay. We need some number, unique number. Okay, I'm giving 100. And dot. The system ID. System ID is 6 byte. You can copy the MAC address of any one of this interface if you want. Or you can simply type 000.000.0001. Anything you like. If you want to copy a MAC address here, you can do it, or you can give your own unique number. See, for router 1, I will give 1 in the last. For router 2, I'll say 2. For 5, I'll say 5 instead of 1. Okay, that's what. It needs to be unique for each router. All right, next is the end selector will be 00. Boom. That's all. This is the format. This is how we need to configure. And then there is no command called network. If you are used to the network command in OSPF, no, it's not the same way here. You will not see any network command, so you need to go out of this out of this mode, and I need to go to the interface loopback 0, where I have this 11111, and I'm going to say router, IP router ISIS. That's it. If you would have given process ID, you should give the process ID here. But did I use any process ID?
No.
No, then don't give here. Now this interface is now included in ISIS process. Likewise, I have to include interface G3/0 IP router ISIS. Now, let us verify whether ISIS is really running or not. The command is show ISIS interfaces. Show ISIS CLNS. So what is this? Show ISIS IP. Oh, come on. Show IP IS. Show IP CLNS. Oh, come on. Some commands will start with show CLNS. Show CLNS interfaces. See, I have that command. Show CLNS interfaces. Brief. What is the command? Or simply type show CLNS interface. No, see, you can see the interfaces. Now, this is all not running. CLNS only interface running is 3/0. Yeah, I told you by default it will be supporting both L1 and L2. ISIS is the routing protocol that works on this interface. And you see it is sending hello, ISIS L1 hello as well as L2 hello. I told you two neighborship will be formed between each router. One is L1 and L2. We need to suppress. If you don't want L1, you can suppress. See, the default metric is 10. Whatever the bandwidth on the interface, the metric is always 10. Okay, so also you see ISIS is running on the loopback 0 interface. Yep, loopback interface. Fine. Now, there is another verification, show IP protocol. This also shows that there is a protocol called ISIS working on loopback 0 and G3/0. The administrative distance number of ISIS protocol is 150. What is an administrative distance? It is the numerical value that is telling the routing table which source to use. If OSPF is giving route, ISI is also giving route. Whose route to honor, whose route to use in the routing table is decided based on this number. The one whose administrative distance is lower is preferred. OSPF is 110. So when we have two sources, one is OSPF, one is ISIS giving routes, ISIS will not be preferred. But if you wish to change, if you want to change it, you can say router ISIS distance, and you can say 80. I can change the administrative distance so that this will be given more importance. You see, what happened? I couldn't see the change. Let me try again. Router ISIS distance 80. IP, okay, IP, okay, for IP and dimension. Yeah, now it is changing. So there's a slight syntax, for ISIS. You need to very clearly say whether you are doing this ISIS for IP or for the CLNS old protocol. Unless you say that, you won't accept. Okay, so we will now go next router and finish the configuration. It will never march in the infantry. Okay, router ISIS. See, I gave there no process ID. Here I can give any process ID that I want. I'm saying TWO, which means that it's locally significant value. Next is the net ID. You remember we need to start with the number 49 dot and the area, same area, 0100, and then dot 0000 0000 0002. dot 00. Yeah. So this is 6 byte. This is 2 byte. This is another 2 byte. This is another 2 byte. Totally 6 byte. 6 byte. This is 1 byte. 4 bit per flash. 4 bit is 1 byte. All right. Now this is also 1 byte. Here we are using only 2 byte for area. You can have up to 13 bytes. Expendable. All right, next is what we go out from here and say interface loopback 0, router IP, router ISIS 2W, interface G3/0, and then interface G4/0. Done. Over. Now what is next? I'm expecting a neighbor between R1 and R2 now. Let's check. Show ISIS neighbor. Wow, look at this. It's already there. You see, the router ID is also copied in the conversation. R1, see, router 2 knows even the host name of the router. And there are two relationships on the same wire, see G3/0. L1 relationship is also up. L2 relationship is also up. Usually L2 relationship is only between different area needed. But by default, it will form both adjacency L1 and L2 with all routers. Fine. How to limit? I do not want L2 relationship with R1. How to limit it? Go directly to the interface. Interface G/3 IP router ISIS. No, not IP router. ISIS. LS, not LSP. ISIS.
Security.
Sorry, come again.
Security.
What did you say?
I was reading something. I was saying something like security.
No. ISIS, not, yeah, correct, circuit ID. Very correct, circuit type. We need to say level on. That's it. Good, you have done a nice study. So,
yeah, I was doing some kind of research there.
Okay.
Yesterday.
I appreciate that you're putting homework efforts. Show IP now, ISIS neighbor. Show ISIS neighbor. You can see now only L1 relationship with R2. Likewise, R2 will also have show ISIS neighbor. Only L1 relationship. Yep. Now let us do on R3. Configuring R3. Router ISIS 3. Net ID is 49.0200 because it's area 200. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 3. Dot 00. Here I want to have both L1 and L2 because with this router L2, with this router
So,
L1,
can we call that as a border, or is there any term for it? Because we don't have ABL, as you said.
no
yesterday.
ABL. This is going to be in area 200. This is going to be in area 100. Even though they belong to different area, they can still form neighbor because it is going to be L2 on this interface. And on this interface, it will be both L1 and L2 because it needs to take the traffic of 100 and give it to 300. In that way, it needs 200. And to form, to learn the local networks, it needs to have L1. So on this 4/0, we will not do any changes. But on 3/0, I can do changes like this. On 3/0, interface G3/0, ISIS circuit type level 2 only, and then router, IP router, ISIS THRE3, done. And then interface G loopback 0, sorry, not G, loopback 0, and interface G4/0, done. Now let's see, we should have a neighbor between 2 and 3, show ISIS neighbor. You have only L2 relationship, type is L2. There is also another command to see show CLNS neighbor. This will also show similar output. But instead of IP address, what do you see here? The MAC address of the neighboring device. And you see the type is here, whereas the type is mentioned here. So that's a slight difference, instead of IP, and it is rearranged. Next, let us now go to router 4.
Sorry, sir. Is there any meaning for that? I see that a MAC address option is saying SNMP or whatever.
Yeah, there is a meaning for that. It is like, it means hardware address, SNPA.
Okay.
MAC address. Router 4, we need to do the similar configuration. Router ISIS 4, net 49.000, sorry, 0.00200.00000004 selector 00. Interface loopback 0. I can also use the range command. Range interface, loopback interface range loopback 0, G3/0, G4/0. IP router ISIS 4. And then on the interface G4/0, I want only L2. Is it right? L2 process.
Yeah.
So I can say here ISIS circuit type level 2 only. Then, and on router 5, you can globally configure. So far, the levels we configured under the interface. You can also go router ISIS 5, and then here the command, is it circuit type? No, it's like here, metric style wide. No, not metric style wide. Metric style wide, I'll teach you later. There's not metric style wide. Here, IS type. IS type L2 only. This is globally we are changing. Means all the interface. If you want to put it in same level, you don't need to go under the interface. You can do it here. And the net ID here is 49.49. Area ID is 0300.000000005.00. And then interface range loopback 0, G3/0. IP router ISIS 5. Over. We finished the configuration, now the verification. Show IP route. I should see the routes coming from the neighbor. Look at this. We have learned the routes even from router 3, but we have not learned from router 2 and router 1. And you will learn it now. You see, you need to give some time. Okay, we got the routes coming from router 1. Now, if I ping from here 1.1.1.1 with a source of 5.5.5.5, I am pinging. It's because I have the reachability back to back. R1 also can ping 5 loopback. R5 also can ping 1 loopback. Now, you see in router 5, you see the complete route for all destination, but on router 1, you will not see all the routes. Though you will be pinging, see show IP route, you don't see route to reach 55555. Instead, there is a stub automatically given, configured. So you can ping 5. This is the reason why I like ISIS very much. You will not have big routing table. You don't need to do any filtration. A default route is dynamically injected to all the L1 routers facing towards the L2 router, which is R2. All right. So with this, we'll stop.